Hey friends, welcome to the Stride Sisters podcast. On this week's episode, we're talking training updates, Disney news, and all things running. We talk about our favorite fuel, our favorite drinks, our favorite shoes, and even our favorite race distances. So if any of that sounds interesting, lace up your shoes and step into the magic with us.
3, 2, 1, go!
We gotta pretend like we are not awkward anymore. That's what we gotta do. All right.
Well,
Good luck
we
with
can
that.
only pretend so much. Fake it till we make it, guys.
But anyway, well, I feel like this is kind of like an AA meeting about the training. I just want to be like, hi, my name is Caitlin, and I have fallen off the bandwagon for training already in week 2.
All right.
It is hot here, okay? It is. I don't know. This probably got cut out of the last episode, but I live in Kentucky. We're in the South, y'all. I know it's not like the super far South, like Georgia, like Hannah's experiencing, but it is hot. It is the South. And it was like 90 degrees yesterday, at least. I think the high was like 94. The humidity is just at like 89%, and we are dying out here. And so part of me is like, I should get back to that Planet Fitness membership. So, yeah.
I think we're
fallen
on
off the bandwagon.
No, I don't think so. That's the whole point of early training and why you start training earlier and earlier compared to like a normal marathon training plan that's like, I don't know, 16 weeks maybe, because you need time to like get into a routine, get into a schedule, and it's okay to miss. Also, I don't feel like it's that much hotter here now that you're saying what your highs are, because I mean, granted, that's like today's high, and it's like a quote unquote cool day here in Georgia, but
oh yeah, it was like 86 for the high the other day, and I was like, wow, this is so nice.
Yeah, the high today is 94, and every high after today for the foreseeable future is like 97, and like probably also 80-something% humidity. It's really great. I was hoping that once the hurricane sort of like moved past, we would get a break, but thus far that does not seem to be the case. And
yeah.
I'm just gonna have to learn to deal with it.
We had that crazy like after effects from that hurricane/tornado thing that hit Texas, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. This whole like tornado just went right over our house, and we were standing outside, all of our neighbors, and Austin was just like filming it. He was like taking videos and pictures on his phone, and we're all like looking at each other like, what is going on over here? Like the videos that he took were crazy. Like you could see the clouds forming into this funnel shape, and it was I think it was a Tuesday. Yeah, it was like Tuesday of last week. And so I was like, I'm supposed to be running.
That's our next TikTok right there, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Video from the tornado forming and the caption, when you're supposed to be out running, but you think you finally have a good excuse for missing your run.
I know. I was like, sorry, Jeff Galloway. I can't do the Tuesday, Thursday this week because there's literally a tornado from Texas coming over Kentucky.
At least you do kind of have a good excuse. I have also not been as on it as I would like to be. I have done all my runs, but I have not been able to keep up with all of my like strength training. My justification is that my life is falling apart. Like at work, my friendships, I'm like everything just feels very stressful right now. So I'm giving myself a little bit of grace, but I did run I think it's 3 miles on Tuesday plus strides, then Thursday was 4 with some like cool down afterwards, so it always ends up being more miles than it says it's gonna be. I think that might be a psychological trick from Natalie's and I's coach. And then Natalie already did her run, but I haven't done my long run this weekend, which is 5 miles. Last weekend was 8, if I remember correctly, and I did all 8 of them on the treadmill. thank goodness
Oof.
for Below Deck, because that's what I watched on the treadmill the whole time to keep myself entertained.
Nice.
But it went really well. I thought it was going to be really terrible, if I'm being honest. I was like, for me, once we go past 6, that's when runs start to feel long to me, because I don't know, like 10K kind of threshold is like it for me. And I was really worried. I brought all the snacks. I had like a whole bag of all the alternate, like all fuels and stuff, because I was inside, so I could do that. And I felt great. I mean, granted, I was inside. It would have been miserable outside, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Well, that's
What about
good.
you, Natalie? Because you've actually stuck to the plan pretty much. I see your updates on your story every day.
This is true. To backtrack just for a second, where we are right now is this is the completion, and we have completed week 2 of Galloway training, official like marathon training.
Mhm.
Hannah and I follow hashtag RunFitMama. So
We love her.
In
And
RunFitMama,
RunFitMama,
Yeah.
who do we trust?
We
Okay,
trust.
so I follow her Instagram account and I have looked at her blog, which she seems really cool, but maybe this would be good for the listeners. Like, can you tell me a little bit about Run Fit Mama? Like, who is she? What does she do? And what are her training programs like? Because I just don't know if I want to pay like $175 for this like marathon weekend training program, like on top of a gym membership. I don't know.
Sure. So this is my
Free
second time
advertising
doing her.
for our amazing
I know.
coach.
Shout
She
out to
deserves
Run
it.
Fit Mama.
I love her.
follow you and you don't know me.
Yet.
Right.
So Kristen is her name, and she is a certified personal trainer, and she really, her passion is runDisney clients, where she always wanted to have runDisney clients. And I think this is the 3rd year that she's really had these established training programs where she builds off of the Galloway program to set up, your 3 runs a week, and then she does strength training programs, and she really builds in. Again, she works mostly with the Galloway program. Our mileage is a little bit higher right now because we started. We're in the in-summer program at the moment since we're into July now. And she started, June 1st for that, where marathon training officially started if you're following Galloway on the first week of July. So where our mileage is a little bit higher, where Galloway has you at having just done 4 miles versus she had us at 5. But as Hannah said, last week it was 8, but it was the first week of Galloway. So that was 3. So our mileage is a little higher because the goal is to be around that 11, 12, 13 mile range by the time September 1st rolls around. And that really does, I think that puts you, I want to say Galloway's around 11 at that time too. So I'm not looking at the training calendar at this moment, but
I can look it up. Keep going.
I know. My spreadsheet is going to give me a little life here, but it should be around that same time as well. But I really, this is my second time going through using her programs where I felt like there was a dramatic difference in my running this past year, where she does a speed day a week too. And I had heard the term fartlek. I had no idea what that meant.
What?
But it's basically kind of like, it's kind of like random chaos in a way, where like kind of like you like kind of do like a harder effort and then kind of like slow it down. And then it's kind of to teach your body like to, there's a lot of different types of speed workouts that you can do, and learning how to do those and like pushing the pace when I'm tired or something like that is something that I've really benefited from. And honestly, last year, like the PRs I ran and was not expecting to run were crazy. Like I just, Disneyland was a week after the marathon and I ripped a PR.
Yeah.
Like I ripped a 7-minute PR on 1 week post-marathon legs. So it's
and
stuff like
you
that
PR'd your bachelorette weekend on Princess.
I did. And then I PR'd again. So like stuff that like were like paces I didn't really realize I could run. I was able to really teach myself how to run. But yeah, her programs are really great. I think that it does come obviously with a cost. I think that her attention to you is really great. I've gotten a lot of good feedback. As much as I've been kind of, sticking to the plan, like it's been a little bit of a mental challenge for me at the moment, where I know like the heat and humidity, even up in Nebraska, is kind of getting me. Which is not expected because it shouldn't be as bad as it is in Kentucky or Georgia, but it is. It's this little humid pit, and I don't know why. But and I think that
what part of the country is not humid right now? We need to go there.
Maybe Seattle.
Alaska.
I don't know. It's probably
That's what I was thinking. We can go hang out with Kat in Montana.
True. Don't mind us.
It only doesn't snow there in like the middle of July.
True.
Yeah.
But I even got like a message back from her this week after Speed where I was like, how do I just get over this mental block that I have? And she was like, well, what do you feel like you're struggling with? And I kind of just let it out of like, I just moved. So I'm like getting used to my new routes. I'm getting used to the bigger hills that are everywhere in this. Nebraska's not flat. At least my part's not. But like stuff like that where it kind of just felt good to like get it out. Or at one time I've gotten like a voice note from her of like, hey, my hip is tweaking. Can I like what do I do? Because I'm running Wine and Dine like right now. And
she's huge on voice notes.
Yes, she loves a voice note. So she's just great. She's like, and it's so nice to have like the community behind it too. And you can be part of the community without paying for the programs. Like I've never felt out of place there, even when I'm like not officially in a program. But yeah, no, she's great. The community that she's built is really fantastic. She's hilarious too. Always happy to promo in Run Fit Mama we trust. Yeah. Even when I tell you I'm not going to go for a PR and then I do. Oops.
Way to stick to it, Natalie. I'm really excited because I'm in a different spot. Like Natalie's been coached by Kristen before. And so this is like my first training cycle with her. But so far I've really liked it because I had a in-person personal trainer before. And that's really, really expensive. But also enjoyable if like that's something you need. And I did need it when I first started working out. So I had someone like showing me how to do all the things, but I have the basics down now. Like I know how to do the moves for the most part. We still get form checks and all that, but like for the most part, I feel confident. I just cannot make my own workouts for the life of me. I just don't have the capacity for that. So this really helps. And I really like the idea of having a coach because it makes me feel more confident that what I'm doing is the right stuff. I'm not second guessing myself constantly, which I did a lot last year when I was training for my first marathon at Chicago. I was so worried all the time of like, if I miss this long run because I have a blister and I want to take a break or I want to run less, like, is that going to completely derail me? Do I need to split it up and like make up the mileage later? Do I need to do it on the elliptical instead? Like all these things that I didn't know. And I had no idea if I really wasn't doing strength training. And I got hurt. I got like little tweaks and stuff throughout training, which did also mess with my training and made me less confident. But then I also was in so much pain, like I think beyond the kind of pain you're supposed to maybe feel when running that far. And that was not pleasant. And then I also didn't know what really to do with my nutrition, which I was like blindly trying to figure out for myself. I also asked for some help from Natalie, but like Natalie's also not a professional, so
no,
it didn't turn out well. I ended up in a medical tent at the end of the race. I still finished, but my whole goal this season is to just finish and be healthy and happy. And I feel like I can do that with Kristen. Like I feel very confident that we're gonna get there.
So she does nutrition stuff too?
She does. She'll help guide you with that, where she's really big on fuel more and more often rather than like underfuel yourself. And that has helped a lot. Oh my gosh. It's helped me so much. Just like kind of trusting her and like, okay, like take the gel. How about you take it like, cause I used to be between 30 and 45 minutes, but I would go a little closer to the 45. And she's like, well, what? Just take it like a little earlier. Like, why don't you take it at 35? I'm like, oh shoot, this is nice.
I was doing mine every hour and I felt like crap.
Yes. Yeah. But it's been nice where like kind of she like different things or different ideas and that she has and stuff she does. And might be jumping the shark a little bit, but just some of the things that now I do that I didn't do before last year. But I definitely think it's a worthwhile investment in yourself. And just, it's really it's empowering and motivating because now I feel like I have the strength, like all right, I'm not doing super hot with it right now, but like last year I had the strength to sustain all those miles and I recovered a lot quicker. Where the year prior, because this is my second dopey I'm training for, third marathon, I would have to take like 5 days off after my long run to like recover before I could run again. Versus now I'm usually like, yeah, like I take like a day, maybe two, and then I'm okay to at least do easy pace miles again. So that's been important. That's been really helpful and important. But beyond us being happy plugs for Kristen, I think establishing a strength training routine has been really, really a game changer for me to, again, sustaining the mileage on my legs.
Yeah, that's kind of what my physical therapist was telling me, because I had my last appointment with him on Wednesday this week. And I was showing him the Jeff Galloway training plan. And he was like, only 3 days a week? Like, seriously? This is not enough. And I was like, should I be doing more? And he was like, well, you also kind of need to be doing the extra things like the cross training and stuff on the days where you're not running. So he was like, you need to build that in too. Like maybe Mondays, Wednesdays, you're going to the gym and you're like lifting or something. Or like you're doing, he said that the elliptical wasn't really the same as the treadmill.
It wasn't that I was doing it to be the same. It was more that I was just trying to get the like, make sure I was still doing an effort for my heart and like moving my body. It was like the same as like for me, like if I was to ride the bike instead of do my run, it would be to just like keep myself moving and keep my heart healthy, I guess, rather than the miles. But so I wasn't taking as much rest. I don't know what my logic was. I'm not a professional in any kind of way, but
yeah, none of us are professionals, but I don't know. I just was like, is this not enough? Do I need to be doing more? And he was like, yeah, you need to be training like almost every day, maybe have 1 day off, not 4. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I think I have to go back to that gym membership because what we did was, instead of Austin and I both having a Planet Fitness membership, we were like, because Planet Fitness, we were paying $25 each a month. So it's $300 a year per person. So $600 per year. And then we were like, Costco's having a sale on stationary bikes. We can buy this one stationary bike for $500. And that is a one-time fee, not like a yearly annual fee of $600. So we were like, wow, look at us. We're going to save so much money. And so, but I'm like, no, I think I should go back to Planet Fitness because I just need the indoor treadmill, which to me, a treadmill run isn't even that bad. I feel like I'm more motivated on the treadmill because if you stop, you fall off the treadmill. So
hot take. Yeah. I hate the treadmill. The treadmill's so much harder than outside.
Well, no, because the treadmill, you get to watch TV.
I mean, yeah.
There are a lot of pros to treadmills. When you're outside, you are dealing with the elements. And then if you stop, the ground is not going to make you fall over. So why would you keep running? I don't know.
See, this is so great because this is like such a teaser for our main topic today. Because we're all different in the way we run. Well, almost like it's interesting to just like a dialogue on how we're all different in the way in our preferences too, of like what you like versus don't. Because I take a pride point of how few runs I can have on a treadmill. Of just because I feel like I get in my head too much about, like this feels different, than outside versus,
I get really in my head about the pace when I'm on the treadmill versus when I'm outside. I don't ever feel bad about how slow I'm going when I'm outside, but when the numbers are in front of me, pro tip, just cover them up. But when I have my iPad up, I cover them so I can't see them. But it's really hard for me on the treadmill. See, I think it used to be the opposite, but
it's probably because of like our backgrounds with our athletic abilities. Like I never did cross country or track. And it wasn't until I was a senior in high school, my sister was a freshman and she was doing cross country. And I was like going to her cross country meets and I was like, oh, these kids are so cool. Too bad I'm a senior and that their cross country season is like more than halfway over. Because otherwise I was like, this is so fun. But otherwise I don't run outside. Like running was always the punishment in the sport that I would do. And then we would just, run around a track, like an indoor track maybe. So indoor tracks are fine. I do like an indoor track. But I don't know. Treadmills are where it's at. You can watch TV.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway,
Well,
maybe we've exhausted the treadmill talk and the training.
No. I think it's great, and I think it's a great segue into what we're going to talk about. But I just want us to cover a few dates and stuff before we get going. So we have a few days. We've got 111 days. If you're listening to this on the day we release this podcast, then we have 111 days until the expo for Wine and Dine. We've got 100. Yeah, I'm still so jealous of you guys.
You should come.
You should just sleeper.
We'll see.
Nice.
If I keep the Port Orleans reservation, we got the 5th sleeper. So
I know
I'm just saying.
My Disney experience is so confused right now because it's why do you have 2 different hotel stays for the same time period?
Because one of them.
I will run it by Ben. And then we've got 179 days from or until Marathon Expo, which we will all be at. Whoop, whoop.
So excited.
Yay. And then 14 days until Princess General Registration. That's for everybody. If you have Club Run Disney, that's not accurate. And then,
so Natalie, when is your sign up day for Princess?
Hers is a week before that, so 7 days, right?
Yes, but I get to use it from the whole window, so it'll release 7 days before, but I can do it up until the day before general registration. Sometimes I do it right away. Sometimes I wait because I'm still thinking about whether or not I'm doing it, and then I go, LOL, yeah, I am. But yeah, it opens a week before, and I have Club Run Disney Gold.
Yeah.
If that's
so the silver level. Which this is a totally different topic, but the silver level, you don't get guaranteed that pre-race registration?
That is correct. Basically, silver, you get the jacket, you get the virtual 10K. The jacket is pretty nice, especially the jacket they sent us this last year. Actually, I use a lot. I use the other one too, but from the prior year. But basically, it's kind of, and then you get priority for registering to upgrade yourself. So if you're silver, and then this is another thing we're going to talk about for renewals. You have the opportunity before it goes on sale to the general public to renew. If I were faster, could have gotten platinum for my Club Run Disney renewal, but I wasn't because I had some meetings to go through. And also, again, this is
life.
Life. My job is not Disney or Run Disney as much as
we wish.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, if people didn't listen to the last episode, we went over that we have different full-time jobs.
So share this podcast so we can turn this into our full-time job.
Yes. I'm not Ken. My job is not Beach. But there were a lot of people I knew in Gold who got the chance to upgrade to Platinum, and that's awesome. I was not quick enough. And also I wasn't super sold on it because there was only one of those benefits. It is expensive that I really was sold on having, and it's not the ones you would think. It's that you could get in and out of the expo fast. And I love the expo, but I usually work that day. So getting in and out quickly to do my shopping, get my bibs, and then having the leisure time later to come back and, go hang out with Jeff Galloway because I chat with him all the time now. No, but I do talk to him. Well, so now it's happened a couple of times where I've chatted with him, told him I'm trying to PR tomorrow. He's given me some advice. And then I did it. So now I feel like he's my lucky charm. And I had to listen to a podcast he was on and when I had a local half because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have my compression boots to go wear, and I didn't have my chat with Jeff. So I had to DIY that. It's okay. It worked. But I am Gold. I am going to keep Gold. I had to think about it a little bit. But we can get into Club Run Disney, its benefits, etc., in a different discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then our last date is we got 45 days until Springtime Surprise. And with that, that's all of the races. But we did just mention Princess. And in Disney news this week, our next segment, we had an update of the theme and the princesses for each of the races for next year's princess. And I thought we could discuss, as we know, or maybe you don't, Natalie made some predictions recently. And so I thought we could talk about how accurate you were. Are we happy with the choices? I'm thrilled. I love Snow White. I dressed up as Snow White.
Excited.
I love it. I'm
so excited. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait. Because I feel like the past couple of years for Princess, they've been like reusing themes, and I don't know. I just was like, we need some more love for Snow White.
We really do.
Yeah.
Because since Dopey gets so much love, and Dopey is about 6 weeks before Princess, I think that's why they haven't done her too much. But also, she hasn't been in any of the Dopey stuff, so get out. Anyway, I had the prediction because we all speculate and spiral a little bit.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Exactly. It's Princess season. And I think I was pretty wrong last time, to be honest, or for my guesses last year. But my guesses for this one, because and this was almost selfish because these are the last 4 main ones I have to get, were that we would have Mulan, that we would have Merida, that we would have Aurora, and we'd have Snow White. So I don't have any races that I've done that have been any of those from the mainstream princesses. And what we got the 5K for Mulan, which that one I even guessed the distance. The other ones I was off by a couple for the distance. We have Jasmine for the 10K.
She's my favorite.
Oh, I loved all the stuff for her for 2023 Princess. She was the 5K. And the beautiful like purples. Oh, such like beautiful colors. For the half marathon, we have Aurora, which
I'm so excited for that one.
She has not been on a medal, I think. Oh gosh, it's been at least 5 years. It's been since I have been. Up. I think she was 2019 last, but I am not positive about that.
My coworker's daughter, Aurora, is her favorite. So
and I
exciting.
love like a blue Aurora moment. So the fact that like Crowned does have that seems to not be anybody else's favorite is tempting me.
Oh, if that are you talking about that Crowned running?
Yes,
Crowned Athletics.
Yeah.
If they could just release more stuff, please, I will buy it. I'm serious right now. They just literally all they got is like headbands and scrunchies and like a few like
it's like a runDisney registration.
Yeah, for
it's
real.
like if you're a millennial who was really if you were a millennial who was really into makeup in like the early 20 teens and like you remember, I feel like that's the OG like everyone got really crazy about like these makeup palettes and stuff. No, Caitlin's giving me this look like I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But
no, I remember now. At first I was like, are you talking about when you go to Claire's and they had like that fake makeup?
No.
Like my sister was obsessed with that in like the early 2000s.
The naked
no.
Like
yeah, like
right. Now I know what you're talking about. Yes.
If you know who Tati Westbrook is, that one that was out for before Shane Dawson got canceled. Kylie for a lip kit. Like all these different ones they would drop, but like you had to be on and it sold out in minutes, which is also similar to runDisney. You get maybe an hour, but that's how I feel about Crowned, and I have no way of knowing if it's going to fit me, which scares the crap out of me to order and then not know. And they just shut down their official like buy sell trade, so now it's run by like other people, so it seems like even more
they do events
risky to me.
at Disney World on the race weekends. They go to like the Swan
Pop-ups.
And Dolphin, so that you can try on the outfits there, and they have different sizes and whatever. But yeah, every time I go onto their website, and I had never heard of them until we were running the half at Princess this year in 2024, and someone had a sign that was like, run as if Crowned Athletics did a drop or something. And I was like, what does that mean? What? And I saw like everybody wearing these really cute little Disney outfits. And I was like, man, where'd you get your stuff? I was like, this is really cute. But anyway, I looked up, there's a Reddit thread about list of previous Princess weekend themes. I don't think Merida is on here. Oh, she is, 2018. the
Yes.
10K was Merida way back in the day.
Yeah, she hasn't been there since, and that is her only thing. So that's okay. Still gives me something to work toward. And then also the challenge is Snow White.
I know. I'm so excited.
I feel
and
like
all the villains and the artwork.
Yes, I noticed that too. That with every artwork there was like the princess, but then also her corresponding villain. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. I wonder if they'll get like, is this like costume ideas for people? Like maybe you'll see somebody running by as like the villain instead.
I
So
think
that
this
would
is
be
my
fun.
redemption and reason enough to sign up for this race. Is I tried to dress like Snow White, this princess, in 2024, and I made the mistake of not trying my entire outfit before the race. I had tried parts of it, but not all of it together. And that morning, I got dressed with everything, and I looked straight at my boyfriend and I went, nope, can't do this. It does, something feels wrong. Took almost everything off. So it was like, I was basically just color blocked. Like I had a white shirt with a blue bra underneath that you could see. And then I had a yellow skirt and red shorts. So I had all the colors, but not like maybe in the right spots, because I had a top that went over my white shirt and I had like the arm puff sleeves, but they just like felt like they were rubbing. So maybe instead of being Snow White, I should be the villain. Maybe that's the sign.
The evil queen.
Yeah, I should like redo it and be the evil queen.
Okay.
That
you
sounds
carry
like
around an apple
for me.
Yeah,
I'll be the apple.
I could be like all the people with their little stuffed animal companions velcroed to their shoulder. I can velcro an apple to my shoulder.
There you go. Perfect.
I'm so excited. I feel the stress leave my body when I get to the expo at Princess in ways that I don't feel at any other time. It's so funny because I love seeing things around like the expo. It's like, oh, people in their crown, they have their like enchanted skirts, they have their zippity t-shirts, they have their Factory 55 ears. Or BB Brook ears. It's so funny to see like in all these different cool small shops too, and all their products and whatever. It's like, it's like girlies who know, like who are like wearing the same shirts. It's like, oh my God, I love Zip. Like I love this. It's so funny to see everybody together and like in their different merch. And then I always find a new small shop to go want to support and I'm interested in or stuff like that.
This might be a good segue. Do you have a favorite Run Disney small business?
Oh man, how do I pick just one? I think
maybe
probably
top 3 then.
Okay. I kind of like probably Enchanted Athletics for skirts, and they have cute little jewelry too. Brianna is fantastic. I love her. She's like one of the
stuff in my
sweetest
cart.
people. Oh my gosh! I think there's a sale going on right now.
Don't tell me that. I'm trying to save money so that I can register for this next race.
Yes, but it's like 30% off a skirt. So like the Jolly Holiday skirt I've been eyeing for months, it might have to happen because I've done one Mary. And I could do all the Mary Poppinses. Yeah. Anyway, but Brianna is really fantastic. She's just the sweetest person. The skirts are beautiful, and they're beautiful in pictures, but when you get them and you see the way it sparkles and shines, absolutely beautiful. And like they're also like pretty affordable compared to some skirts too, where Brianna does try to kind of, she definitely charges what it's worth. But I'd say that, it's pretty, it's something that like I don't like buy. Like I try to buy like thinking of a different costume it'll go with, right? Like I wore my pink one a couple times. I wore it for Piglet and Miss Piggy, and I'm always trying to think of a different way I can wear it. But I also think that it's relatively sometimes I have a hard time looking at over $100 for a skirt. And that doesn't mean I don't think that these skirts are worth their value. It's just, for me personally, like, that's just, it's a little bit hard to kind of, I try, and that's also my style with costuming too, where I try to do like more like kind of like accessories on top of running clothes I already wear or use. And I have some like specialty pieces where I have a dopey dress. Spoiler, he's coming back for the marathon this year. But that'll be the second time I wear it. And I also bought that off of Once Upon a Marathon because she was doing a closet clean out, never wore it. So I feel like I have the sisterhood of the traveling dopey dress now. It's so cool the things that people create and like how they have kind of, like seen like kind of where they think there's a gap in the market and then kind of go and do it. And then the community that it comes from that, right? Like you see an enchanted skirt, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I also probably follow you already, but like it's like cool seeing people and like the different pop-ups over the weekends too, or just meetups. It's great. I love it. It's just kind of brings all together the big family atmosphere in the community.
Oh, I saw a TikTok the other day randomly. Somebody tried to Disney bound Dopey at Magic Kingdom. Like they just showed up to Magic Kingdom wearing like, I think it was a green maxi skirt and then like a purple like tube top, some kind of like tank top. Like the top situation was just solid purple and then a solid green skirt. But everybody thought she was Ariel. And she even went to meet Ariel. And Ariel was like, oh my gosh, like we're matching. And she was like, I don't know how to tell you, but I was trying to Disney bound Dopey, not you. So
I see that one for Tinkerbell and Tiana a lot. People, the two, because they're both all green, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that reminds me because so Austin and I have been talking about the registration for Princess, and he definitely is going to run. Like, I'm kind of going to make him. And if he doesn't run, then that sucks because I just ate like $160 or something like that. So, but I want to register him. And he was talking about potential costumes. And he was like, oh, I kind of want to be Peter Pan. And I was like, oh, I could be your Tinkerbell then. And so he was like, that's just kind of basic. So I don't know.
Rude.
But can we get into the story of Austin and Princess 2024?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so for Natalie's bachelorette weekend, Natalie was gracious enough to invite the guys. Well, Hannah's boyfriend was already going to be there because he was running, but she was like, "Hey, does Austin want to come too?"
But and not like, my own, not Mr. Natalie. He was at home.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
He's not allowed.
I thought he'd be there, but I mean, it was fine. I mean, we all had our own hotel rooms too, so it wasn't like some weird girls' party with like two random guys there or something. So it was me and Austin in a hotel room, and he wasn't there the day that I got there because he had to work. So I think he flew down like maybe it was like Saturday morning or like Friday night, something like that. But the day of the 10K, he was there in Orlando. And the race, the course map, it went right past the Swan and Dolphin, which is where we were staying. Austin kind of refuses to stay on Disney property because he's a Marriott, Bonvoy, whatever member person. So he's like, I will only stay in a hotel if I can get my points. So the race was going right past Swan and Dolphin, which we were staying at the Dolphin. And he texted me in the morning, actually, because we went past the 5K split. And so he has my location on his phone so he could tell where we were. And he also did that track your runner website that you sent. So like he got the notification that we went past the 5K split. And he texted me, it's like 6 something in the morning. And he's like, you're crushing it. You're doing amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I was like, oh my gosh, thanks. And so we're running out of Hollywood Studios, me and Natalie. And I texted him and I'm like, okay, we are coming up to mile 4. We just left Hollywood Studios. We're going to do that little path in between Studios and the International Gateway to Epcot. And I was like, we're coming up to Swan and Dolphin. So come downstairs, come meet us outside. He was going to be there and say hi. And we even waited for the evil stepsisters. There was a character meet and greet right there. I think it was the stepsisters and the stepmom, I think. Yeah, it was a good one. And so we waited for the character for like 10 minutes. And I'm texting him. I'm like, okay, come on downstairs. We're like standing on the boardwalk. I can literally see the dolphin right in front of me. Like, please come outside. Come meet us. Like, suddenly there was just like radio silence. He's not responding. And I was like, what is going on? And it was only like 7:20 when we started waiting for the character. So then by the time we met the character, it's like 7:30 in the morning. Right. So I was like, where is he? Then he texted me at like 8 o'clock and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I went back to sleep and I just woke up. And we were like almost done with the race. So I was like, okay. So Natalie was like, Austin's going to get his butt up tomorrow and he's going to come with us. And then he's going to take the monorail to Magic Kingdom and he's going to be standing there on Main Street for us. And he's going to have a sign and he's going to be cheering because he missed his opportunity to just wake up and go downstairs and see us run by. So of course, no, he didn't want to do that. And that morning we had rented a car for some reason. So he was like trying to drive to Epcot in his rental car. And he was like, I can't get there because the roads are closed. And we were like, yeah, they closed the roads for the racers, like for the runners. And then he was like, well, I'm going to try to Uber. And I'm like, well, if the road is closed, then Uber is not going to magically drive on a closed road. Right. So he was trying to Uber and he's like, it keeps saying restricted area. I can't, like the Ubers won't go there. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, can you try to get onto a Disney bus? And all of this texting is going on while we're running the half marathon, by the way. So he's like trying for like 2 hours or something to somehow get to Magic Kingdom or Epcot. And then finally he was like, okay, the Ubers just opened up, like the roads are not closed anymore. I'm going to take a Lyft and I'm going to go to Epcot and I'm going to meet you there because that's where the finish line is. And so I actually ended up crossing the finish line and then I was sitting there on the ground just like so sore and I could not move. And I waited for like 30 minutes in the Epcot parking lot, just sitting there eating my fake cheese and my banana. And he finally texted me that he was there, but he had to backtrack to go to the front gate of Epcot to go through security, and then he had to come back around. And so the first thing that he said to me when he saw me after the half marathon was, oh, my feet really hurt. He was like, that Lyft driver had to drop me off like half a mile away. And I had to walk a whole half of a mile to come and see you after your half marathon race. And my feet hurt so bad.
You never told me this before.
I didn't?
No. No. All I remember from that day is you texting us that you were on the ground and me thinking I was going to have to come give you first aid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I texted you guys and I'm like, help, I sat down and I can't get back up.
Well, I was also in the pain cave that day. I had not. Oh my God, I was struggling.
But at the end. God, when he told me.
That's hilarious.
He walked a half of a mile. I did the challenge where I did the 10K and the half. I know. The bus drops you off a mile away from the start. So, well, you guys did the 5K that weekend, right?
No, we just did the 10 and the half.
Okay.
She did the 5. She does all of it.
Okay, so I did the 10K and the half. So that is a total of 19.3 miles in 2 days. Plus, we went to the Disney parks afterwards. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of walking and running. And he was like, oh my gosh, that Lyft driver dropping me off a half a mile away.
So his punishment for this.
So his punishment is that he has to run a 10K next year?
Well, so I wanted him to do a race marathon weekend. And for some reason, that just didn't pan out. Actually, we wanted him to run this past Princess in 2024. And it was like the day of registration. And he kind of backed out. And he was like, no, please don't sign me up. And I was like, okay.
That's what he did during marathon, too.
Yeah, basically. But I was like, okay, that's fine. You can back out of marathon weekend registration. I won't sign you up. That's fine. But Princess weekend, I was like, this is probably going to be better. He's going to have to dress up like a prince or a princess. And that's probably even better than having him dress up as something like Mickey Mouse for the marathon weekend.
It's totally cool to go off theme, though. So the world is your oyster.
That is true. That is true. But I'm thinking, is there a way to get the people to vote on this too? on what he should dress up as?
We could post a poll on our Instagram or
maybe people
TikTok
can comment their response. What should Austin dress up as? And so
give it a only want to sign him up. Put some wedding photos too, just so they can really get like the vibe of it. With his permission. Good idea. Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Like, this is the man's that we're speaking of.
Right. Exactly. So, and I only want to put him in the 10K. I mean, the 5K is like impossible to sign up for, and he's done 5Ks before, so that's like nothing to him. He could do a 5K, and I don't want to put him in the half marathon. Like, I'm not trying to be super cruel. Like,
unless he misses again. So just know.
If he missed the 10K?
If he no. He misses again when he's supposed to be spectating. Just know it's not off the table. Continue.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
Just up the ante every time he doesn't follow through.
Oh, man.
Forgot to put the dishes. Oh, it's up to a half. You didn't vacuum? Gotta do a marathon.
No, I'm not trying to do that to him because he corrected me. He's had 3 knee surgeries. The 4th time that he injured his knee, it was only a partial tear of something. One of those, I don't know what it was. Then he fractured his patella. And I think it was like a partial tear of the patella tendon. I don't know. We'll have to get him on the pod and he can clarify all of his injuries. So he's had all of that happen. He also has a slipped disc in his back. So I'm not trying to make him do like an entire half marathon, but he's got to get up and he's got to run.
Well, once he's registered, we can do an entire pod about how it's going. How's his training? All that, like pre-race or post-race. We can talk about the experience. Find out if he woke up on time.
Yeah, we'll have to get him on the pod.
Oh, that's funny. We're thinking about favorite things. What's your favorite bus to get on for a race? Like what's your time? What's your target bus?
I was aiming for the 3:30 a.m. bus. I woke up at 3 a.m.
What is this? 2:30 the first bus?
I thought 3 a.m. was the first bus.
Well, I think officially it says it is, but I think they actually start sending buses before the official time.
Yes.
Natalie would know.
Yeah,
I would know.
Natalie is a first busser.
I am a first bus truther.
Well, the last bus is at 4 a.m. So I need to get onto a bus before the last one because you can't rely on that last bus actually showing up and not hitting some sort of traffic getting into Epcot.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Indeed.
But Natalie, on the other hand.
Okay. Let me just defend myself for a second here. So yes, I am a first bus girly. So for marathon weekend, for my first dopey, like when you wake up about 40 minutes before your alarm in a marathon of sorts, such as dopey, you don't go back to bed, okay? So you wake up at 1:20. You do not chance it to wake for 2:00. At least I don't, because that's the whole point of me being a morning workout person, is because I'm mad that I'm awake. Okay, so I need to do something with that time. I need to do something with that time that's productive, because even with an alarm set, I don't trust myself to like just get up for it. It's like, okay, if I'm awake enough that I can have these thoughts, I'm going to get up and work out. Also beat the heat, all that fun jazz and such. Anyway, so it kind of was like, all right, well, might as well just go walk up to the front and see what's going on, right? I glue eyelashes on, which I had never run in before, but it ended up.
Oh my God, girl.
Honestly, it really does enhance like the photo. Like I kind of like it helped. So
we do it for the photo pass here.
Yes,
I'm a no makeup girly.
Yeah, every penny off that photo pass I can, man. But I just walked up and I wandered up and I was staying at Port Orleans Riverside for that race, and I was very surprised to see a bus there at 2:09. So my little booty was on the bus at 2:09 a.m. This is for the half during marathon weekend. And then I ended up waking up around the same time for the full, because I liked all that extra time I had too, because with the half, I did not bring my hydration vest for marathon weekend. I will for when that's my longest race. But for the full I did. So it gave me extra time I had it all loaded the night before, but I filling up with the water. I did not let the water sit for an extra 12 hours. Yummy, yummy. I loaded it up that morning. So it was kind of nice. So I do like to get up early. And then it's nice to get there. And I feel like it alleviates some of the like stress and some of the jitters of the morning, because what I do is I go for the character lines. Like I'll go get a couple of character pictures before the race, and then go do my gear check. If it's a day I'm going to do gear check, which is usually for the full. And then I just drop my beer cup, my prized possession, into the gear check bag. Is priorities. And I like, that's about all and then I just kind of have that time to chill, and not kind of like stress. And right, like I can go double back to a real bathroom if I'd like to. I'd never have done that, but the option's there. But it's kind of nice. I like to just like be there already, because then like I also, for my first half marathon, it was Princess in 2022. That was when there was a gigantic traffic jam, and I got on the 3:30 bus for that. And we sat on the bus for 45 minutes. Again, coming from Port Orleans Riverside, which is not far from the Epcot parking lot. Pro tip. But it's really not all that far. And we waited for a while on the bus. And like I knew I was going to be fine, but it did kind of up the jitters a little bit. So I kind of, after that, have been like kind of like progressively going a little bit earlier, because that's just kind of, I just like the elimination of jitters. And then a lot of groups will do like a little meetup at a certain time and then group picture and stuff like that. So it's just kind of nice to get in the atmosphere of things. And also I like to be really far up in my corral too. So like when corral's open, I'll kind of skedaddle over there. Will that change this year? Maybe, now that I'm in a proof of time corral, probably. Maybe not though. We'll see. Wine and Dine will be an experimental weekend for a couple reasons.
I wish I could be further up in the corral, but thus far, Ben and I run together, and Ben is a very non-confrontational, doesn't want to interact with anyone kind of person. So wherever we get is where we stay. I cannot really encourage him much to like weave or try and like push for a further up spot. He just like is like, nope, this is where we are. This is what it is. So,
that's interesting.
Yeah. So my only avenue to getting further up would be for us to be on an early bus. He has started to get, now that we've done 2 races like that, I would rather go as early as possible, because that's part of managing like my anxiety of like, I just want to eliminate as many things that could go wrong as possible. So I try and get on as early as possible as well, just so we're there.
Yeah, it's nice to not labor like running to your corral, and I never have had to do that, but especially when they've done the walkout to the to like the roadway for the start, which hot take, I actually do like the walkout, just because I feel like I'm like entering the arena. Like I feel like I'm like, it's my Super Bowl, I'm entering the arena, and like, yes, you had to walk to get there, but
you get the music going, the pump up music, and you're like, I got this, I can do it. And you're like going through security, like Eminem is playing, and you're like, in the headphones, of course.
This is what I have Ben for, because I actually, the entire time we are approaching the start line, am looking at Ben going, why did we do this? This is a terrible idea. I can't do this. And Ben's going, it's going to be fine.
So it's kind of funny because Caitlin has the unique privilege of having been the only person who, when I've started a race with them, they haven't just seen the back of my head and disappearing until
this is true.
You know, yes.
Yeah, we were standing there in the parking lot. We were in the corral for the 10K, and I was like, okay, so I think my time for the 10K, I think my fastest I've ever done is like 1 hour and 13. I was like, do I have to try to like keep up with you today? And Natalie's like, oh, no. If my time is under 2 hours, I've done this wrong. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We got this.
10K
we were like
is vibe day.
Doing characters, and I had never done this at a Run Disney race. It was lovely. That race, my feet did not hurt as bad. I was fine. And then I think, what park did I go to afterward?
Ben Maybe and I like passed Epcot. You guys at a character stop during that race.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think
we
waved. The evil
Natalie
queen.
Spotted me. Yeah, I think so. And we were like, Ben and I didn't have a plan other than don't run the whole time. The plan was just sort of like, see what happens. And we still did end up running quite a bit. Just probably not advisable. But
We ran
had fun.
the first half of it. When we were going over the 5K split, me and Natalie, we were like, oh, it's only been 35 minutes. Our time was pretty low. We were like, wow, okay, maybe we should slow down. Because we were like, the balloon ladies are super far away.
They hadn't started when we hit the 5K mark this year. Because I monitor. But I was like, oh, we got time.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I've never even seen the balloon ladies.
Me neither. I don't know, but
I did during the half because I saw them coming up at mile 2 when I was at mile 9. Boom.
Good for you.
There you go.
Flex.
Okay. But yeah, we were like, we were like, let's have some fun. And then we were going into backstage Hollywood Studios right after that. And there was the Evil Queen. And Natalie was like, let's stop for the character. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never done this. Okay, let's do it. So that was really fun.
Yes. I'm a big believer in your other races, whatever is not your A race, that's your vibes race. And vibes mean, taking it easy, just kind of stretching out your legs, doing your character stops. I mean, that does come with an addition of time on feet. So, the longer, spending 2 hours on your feet should be something you're at least relatively prepared for because, but versus kind of balancing again, the time on your feet versus the quad soreness or calf soreness or whatnot. But yeah, no, it's my vibes race. Where Wine and Dine is going to be a vibes weekend, though.
But I'm only doing the half, so I don't get the vibe race for the 10K.
We got to stop with the onlys and the just.
Yes. I know, I'm sorry.
Stand alone. But also, the thing is, either way, the half as well for Wine and Dine, my plan is vibes because it's going to be just a catered training run, which is where you do a race, but you're taking it at your long run pace because it's part of your whole step up to your main race being marathon. Mm-hmm. So that's for me. If I am under 4 hours for the half marathon for Wine and Dine, then I will be sad with myself because that means I didn't have enough fun.
Really?
I mean, yeah, anticipating that my proof of time is going to put me or where my proof of time is going to put me. Yeah, no, my intent is to do vibes. I want to do a dead last start one time. I have not been brave enough to do it yet, but the Dead Last Start crew seems really fun. And I'm very intrigued by doing a Dead Last Start. So these are the people who will start purposefully right before the balloon ladies. They sacrifice their corral time or whatever. A lot of them are A's. And then they see how many people that they can pass on course. They do so safely. But so they're not elbowing you out of the way to get ahead of you. But they do, what percentage of the field can they pass? Just having started from the back, because it started as an initiative to be you can have a good race from wherever you start, just if you're tactical about it. So, and a lot of them will take it into a charity game where they'll donate X amount for every person they pass. That's and it's kind of cool. It's become a really big thing, and I want to participate in it once. And I know that there's been other people who've been kind of scared of the experience and then did it and loved it. So I want to be part of that sometime. I'm not saying I'm committing to it this season yet, but the DLS crew, I definitely want to join. And then again, the fear of the balloon ladies, they're really nice people. They're very encouraging, wonderful people. They want you to succeed as much as the next person. But anyway, tangent aside or with that. Vibe race. We're all about it.
I listened to a podcast episode where the balloon ladies were guest starring on someone else's podcast, and they did seem really, really nice. And I think they're just volunteers, right?
Yep.
They don't pay for the race, but they also aren't getting paid to be there. I don't know.
They might pay for the Run Disney.
I think they do.
I think they do for their race.
Yeah,
Disney
I don't
gives
think
them
they're
the balloons
pacers the way the other pacers are, right?
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Well, the Run Disney pacers on the bikes are the people who work there and they're getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But the balloon ladies are just volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then the pacers, the time pacers that are in the middle of the crowd, those are selected people who are chosen to do those because they have to prove that through the Jeff Galloway program, right? I think Twigs picks them, maybe.
Oh, the people with the signs?
Yep.
Where they're holding the pace signs? Yeah, exactly. Because they're running.
Yeah.
They're running with you. And
It
the balloon ladies
depends.
are also running.
Yeah.
But then
'Cause-
there's a bunch of guys on bikes. And they're the ones who are like,
They're
"All
Disney
right,
employees, though.
Yeah, they're like, you're done. You're not keeping up with the pace. Go get on this bus.
Yes. Yeah. No, I'd be curious to kind of talk to a couple like the Galloway Pacers, because I think a lot of them were. It's really cool. A lot of them make gigantic sacrifices in their races and their times to keep you on task. I ran with the 2:15 Pacers for Princess this year, and I did not keep with them because I did run a little outside my fitness to run with them when I did, but I ran with them for about a 5K, and and I had two of the best, I should say, CC and KD, but they were just fantastic with, also like let the little fishes through is what they say, like don't basically be such a blob that other runners can't pass you. Like don't like let people get caught in your pace groups, and like also keeping to the side during our walk intervals, keeping over to the getting away from the side with their running intervals. But when I dropped off of them, it was because I got my castle pick, and I tried to run ahead so that I could catch them again, but it was too much. It was a little too quick of a pace for me to personally sustain. Again, I was running outside my fitness a little bit. So that's my next big goal, is to be able to hang with CC and KD during a whole race. That's during a race, like have like the 2:15 half, so that I can't, because they don't always pace that half, but they do tend to. But like I want to be like part, because running with a pace group, like I got to turn my brain off, just talk with people, and someone else was watching the clock and the intervals for me. Like I have no problem doing it myself, but it's was something where someone else was watching it for me, and then it just went by. Those miles went by in a blink of an eye. I ran down Main Street with the pace group. It was fantastic.
Aww.
Yeah, it was great.
Running
all
down
through
Main Street is so good.
Oh, so good.
The
Shall
Lost
we get into
Bros.
our main topic?
Oh,
We're jumping in and out.
Yeah, we are.
I was going to say the Lost Bros is another one of my favorite small shops, and they have this. I know you guys aren't really big Taylor Swift fans, but they have this one t-shirt with the castle on it, and then it's the quotes from Long Live. It's a Taylor Swift song from the Speak Now album, and they it's never in stock, and so they just dropped like a whole bunch of those. So I got it. I snagged one. Oh, it is so good. I cannot wait to wear it to Magic Kingdom sometime. It is so cute, and it just makes me think of the Princess weekend when we were running down Main Street. I'm like, oh, like that. Thinking about running down Main Street literally makes me like tear up, like happy tears every single time.
Oh, when you wish upon a star playing as you're going down Main Street is
I know. Well,
chills.
So when I was doing the half for Princess Weekend this year, I just went on Spotify and found the like Eras Tour set list. And so I was like, oh, I'm just going to listen to this. And I hope maybe when I'm running through Magic Kingdom, it'll be on the Speak Now era. And so it literally was playing Enchanted and Long Live while I was running through the castle. And I didn't skip any songs. That's how it happened. And I was like, oh my God, I was literally tearing up running down Main Street. It was so magical. So I really want to do that again.
Yeah. All right, let's do like a little bit of a lightning round then on some of our favorites, since we've been jumping in and out, and I love it. I love our little tangents off of what we love, but let's try and get through a few. Okay, so what's your favorite piece of gear that you take with you on a run?
Well, now I just kind of started taking gear with me on a run instead of just like going out there with like, nothing but my phone and headphones. But gotta have the Gooder sunglasses. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Gooder. Okay, gotta have the Gooder sunglasses. Shout out to my Aunt Misty for getting me those. And I just got that Gym Boss timer thing.
I love
the
that
interval
thing.
I ran one training run without it. It was like the first one before it was delivered. And so my running, just me going out there, it was like a 13:50 mile pace, which was terrible. And then I put that.
Hey, we don't pay shame here. We don't pay shame. It's hot.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's hot and it's July and it's the beginning of training. But then I put the interval thing on and I was trying to follow it. I think I was doing a minute running, 30 seconds walking, and my pace went down to like 12:20 per mile. And that was just doing the pacing. So I was like, wow, following these intervals, I'm sold.
I really like my Gym Boss as well. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite thing of my gear, but it really reduces my like mental fatigue. I like doing the math sometimes because it gives me a distraction, but what I started to notice before I had it was I was doing it with my watch. So I kept picking my arm up a lot, and I actually started to notice pain in like my shoulder and that side of my neck from always like lifting my arm and like looking at my watch. So the fact that it's already calculated and it buzzes and I don't have to do that really helps me relax and have my heart rate stay lower. But I also love my Gooder sunglasses. I'll send you a link. But I always have to have my
I know
purple
people
ones.
who are.
Oh, really?
I do,
Maybe
actually.
we can chat with them.
Yeah.
I really like my Gooder sunglasses. Specifically, I have a purple pair, and I refer to them as my purple power.
Oh,
And then
cute.
I have my little tiny baby, like the women's version. It's the pink tube of Body Glide because it has more. It's not because it's women's or pH balanced or whatever. I think that's all like marketing, but it does have more like moisturizers and stuff, so it does glide on better in my opinion than the blue one. And so I like the little mini one because I can stick it in one of those little tiny running pockets or wherever and have it just in case, because I do tend to, especially in this heat, have to reapply.
Oh yeah, you got it. That's a must-have, especially for Disney. I think I even put it in my park bag and take it with me to the parks. And I can't remember what brand I have, but I know it's like a women's all-natural organic, and I'm running out of it.
Babe?
So no, it's not Mega Babe, but I was going to say that after I totally run out of this one, I think I might switch to the Mega Babe because I've heard really good stuff about it. But there's nothing wrong with the one that I have currently. It's also a good one. I just forget what the brand is called.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have
Natalie,
gotta
what's your
have
favorite
Body
gear?
Glide.
Well, first, my favorite Body Glide is Squirrel's Nut Butter.
That's also my favorite of all of the ones. I just can't carry that one on a run.
The name of that is just fantastic.
Yes, it is.
I might just switch to that one for the name alone.
It is so good. I entrust everything, every orifice of my body to the SNB.
They also
fantastic.
have funny names for the products that they intend for other parts of your bodies. They all have funny names, but that one's the funniest.
I love it. I will take that's something I will take the whole bottle with me. I know they have some little like smaller ones, but I have to just get one of them. I actually am out of Squirrel's Nut Butter, or I'm like at my where, like when your deodorant runs out and like you have like just like the palette thing that it sits on, like, and that's like popping out. Yeah, that's where we're at with the Squirrel's Nut Butter, and I need to get more. It's my very favorite because it has never steered me wrong. But
it gets under my nails. That's my like one thing is it gets under my nails.
That's fair. But I entrust my soul actually to Squirrel's Nut Butter.
It's really good for crevices.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to, I am like morally opposed against Amazon, but sometimes you got to use Amazon. And I'm looking through my like recently purchased, and I'm scrolling all the way back. I can't find the brand that I used. But yeah, I do see it's like recommending that I get Body Glide, Her, and then Squirrel's Nut Butter did come up.
God bless.
All right, favorite gear, Natalie. We're trying for a lightning round.
I know. Yes, so we're not doing great. But probably I love my hydration vest, even though I'm looking for a new one because I have shrunk out of mine. But I love my hydration vest. It's my I try to take it on most runs because I was off of it for a little while because in the spring, but I try to now take it on most runs because I like to be used to the weight of it before then you're heading out for a 10-mile run. And then you also have like the extra weight of the backpack on your back. And then you're like, wow, like this stinks because then I have all like my gel stuffed in there too. So I try to make myself like continually be used to that extra weight so that when I actually like well, I drank most of what was in there today because it was hot. But or I drank a lot of what was in there today. But I really like that. All right.
It changes your posture, so it's good to practice.
Yes.
All right. What's everyone's favorite fuel?
Oh, good question.
Mine is the Honey Stinger Chews. My favorite flavor is the pink lemonade.
Ooh.
Nice.
Ooh.
My mom bought me like a goo or something, and it was for Springtime Surprise 2022. So I've only really used the goo that time. I'm trying to find. I did.
Oh, girl,
I do
we're
want to
about to
buy
get
some
you
more.
on like
I know.
whole training.
I
You
know.
got to start soon.
Everyone's like, "Oh, do running. It's the cheapest sport. All you need is a pair of shoes, and you just go." No, it is not.
True.
Yeah, my mom got me the Goo brand energy something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I think I gave you some of my chews too. Like the Goo chews are good.
This one was liquid for sure
in
the little pouch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Like I need to get the honey stingers because I know like runDisney puts that in your little box when you're done with your race.
The waffles. And those,
the waffle ones, and they're really good.
Man,
all right, Natalie.
A favorite, but I really like Tailwind, and that's something that you put into your water bottle. Or I did learn that you can put it into your hydration pack; it doesn't ruin it. Because I was afraid of not being able to clean it well enough, so I was very, very intentionally like.
You just need to promptly clean it.
Yes, you do not wait.
Can't let that shit sit.
Ugh, yeah, that would be delicious to come back to. But also I'm really big on pickle shots now. So this was influenced by Run Fit Mama, where that's not necessarily, it's to help with sodium intake. So I'll pair it with a goo. Yes. So I'll pair it with a goo where I think my salted lime goo or like my watermelon goo, I'll take them around the same time. So I don't mind the taste of pickle. So I love it doesn't
pickles.
Really bother me. Oh yeah. Honestly,
I just haven't gotten them yet. I want to try them also because of Run Fit Mama, but right now my electrolyte of choice is Liquid IV. And I have one not just when I'm like running, which I do. I usually like if I'm doing with my belt, then I split it between the 2 bottles on my belt and fill the rest with water because I'm a super, super salty sweater. And if it's in my vest, depending on how full it is, I'll put an appropriate number of packets into my vest. But I also generally drink one like every day just because it's so hot here that it's really hard to maintain a good level of hydration, so I don't go into my run already dehydrated.
True.
So yeah. All right, anyone else, any other favorite hydration products?
I need to get my laptop charger because my laptop's about to die.
All right, well, we'll see you in a second.
I'll be right back.
I'll pause.
Yeah.
Do you want to keep going, Natalie, while we wait for her to get her?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. I'd say Tailwind is probably it, where there's carbohydrates in it. So there's some other things I really want to try, but I haven't quite tried yet. Because there's a lot of just trial and error of like what works for you, what doesn't. But yeah, I love Liquid IV before and after. I don't end up putting it in my vest too often, but I will sometimes like put it into a water bottle that comes with me. Again, it's the whole prompt cleaning and like not wanting to skunk my vest. Just because I'm looking for a new one doesn't mean I'm trying to destroy the one that I already got.
Okay, I'm good.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, we are charging.
Perfect. All right, we're on a roll. What about shoes? What's your favorite shoe? Or two?
Ooh.
I have different shoes for different reasons. So
different brands?
Yeah, different brands too. I have so I guess I have 3 shoes. My weekday runs, so my shorter runs, I wear my New Balance Fresh Foam 880s. They're orange. They don't have a lot of colors. Sometimes I also wear my Brooks Ghosts. I'm a little on the fence with them right now because they keep, as shoe brands do, they make a change every year. And then I'm like, I haven't really loved the last 2, so I'm really into my New Balance right now. And then actually my race shoe is also a New Balance. It's their like super comp, crazy looking race funny shoe. But I do really like that for like, I use that for my marathon, and it really does help with some of the fatigue over such a long distance. All right, what about you guys?
I'm going to preface this by saying you should go to your local running store, get fitted
Yes.
for a shoe. So also, I am not.
Don't pick
right?
it just because we like it.
Right. You can maybe get ideas just from things, but definitely go into your run if they can assess your gait. If you have a store that does like a shoe, like a foot like scan too, even better. Because I was running in Brooks Ghosts for a while, and then we learned that with how flat my feet is, which our feet are, which I knew I was running in custom I like had custom orthotics for a long time, so I knew that I have a very flat foot. But that I was probably in the worst type of shoe for my foot for a while. And it kind of made sense as to why like Ghosts for me, again, this is for me, like kind of would break down a little faster than I would anticipate because I need more stability in my shoe. So I currently run in Brooks Adrenalines. Have had a lot of success with that. Honestly, the stability that I get out of them has been really great. The support. But my race shoe, like I have the Zoomies shoe. I have a pair of Saucony Endorphin Pros. So these are for marathons. And then if I'm going for POT, those are the only times I wear those because they are a lot more, they're a carbon plated shoe. So they're a lot more expensive. So I'm trying to get the most mileage out of them that I can.
For example, my race shoe, which also has a carbon plate in it, only has like 100 miles on them because I've worn them for my marathon. I wore them for my half marathon at Princess, and I've worn them for a few training runs just to like remind myself what they feel like. But I haven't worn them that much. Whereas like my daily trainer, my New Balance that I just got like a few months ago, I'm already past that in mileage on that shoe. So, different shoes for different reasons.
Yeah, the mileage thing is something that I need to pay more attention to because the shoes that I went to a Feet Fleet store and got fitted for them, but it was just a guy who worked there who was like watching me run back and forth in their parking lot and just walk back and forth in the store.
Really?
And it was like a long time ago. Like we were still in college.
Interesting.
And those shoes that I got were New Balances, and then I wore those for forever. But then right before Springtime Surprise 2022, my parents came down to visit, and there was a Feet Fleet store right there near my apartment. And my dad just wanted new shoes anyway, but my mom was like, we are getting you new shoes because I had like holes in my New Balance shoes. So
wait,
she
you
was
were
like,
wearing the same pair of shoes?
Yeah, exactly. Like the
Caitlin.
same, those New Balances, they got like holes in them. The sole was like, there was like no more tread on them. And she was like, you need new shoes. And I was like, how am I going to get new shoes like 2 weeks before a race? Like that's crazy. And she was like, you need new shoes. So this Feet Fleet that I went to back in 2022, they had that scanning machine thing.
I think that's standard
that
now.
was super cool. Okay. Yeah, because they had my feet on the thing and they were like, oh, this is your exact size and this is how your feet are shaped or whatever, like, because I have really flat feet too. So I got Ghosts for during that like Feet Fleet experience, my Brooks Ghosts, and I really do love them. I thought they were good for me. I used them for Springtime Surprise. I did a local half marathon in 2022. And I thought that they were great. I don't run like a ton. I don't know. I just thought that I didn't. And I wasn't wearing them for anything besides running. So I wore them for Princess 2024, but I think that they were like a little bit too worn out. That, and when I was going to the parks afterwards, I was wearing these like white Nike court shoes, which I thought they were Air Forces. My students very quickly told me, no, those are not real Air Forces. They're just like some random Nike all white shoe. So walking around in Hollywood studios with those like white Nike court shoes, that was not the move. And I've since donated my old Brooks and my Nikes. And then like immediately after Princess, because my feet were hurting so bad, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and I was like, give me literally any pair of Brooks Ghost shoes that you have. I don't care. And then I did go back to Feet Fleet since, and I got some Adrenalins, Brooks Adrenalins. So I don't know. I feel like I'm very loyal to brands, so I don't really want to like branch out of things. My mom did get me a pair of Hokas recently because she was like, your feet are hurting, and I know that the cure is going to be Hokas. So she got me some Hokas.
Ooh, I'm very excited to see what you think of those. Because
I like them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've worn them. Mm-hmm. They're really squishy, like, and I feel taller with them because they're really big and chunky. So they're not like the cutest, I think, but that doesn't really matter because they're very, very comfortable.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't gone running in the Hokas. I've only just worn them to like walk around. And like my school that I taught at last year, they had no sort of dress code. Like they didn't care. So like teachers could wear like, you know, sweatpants or yoga pants or whatever, and tennis shoes. I know. It wasn't anything bad. It was just like you could just wear like sweatpants and a polo if you wanted to. It didn't matter. You could wear a sweatshirt. Like the school that I was at before that, it was very like business casual every single day and like no tennis shoes. So this past year it was fine.
Are you wearing your running shoes during your regular like day too?
No.
Okay.
No, not during. Well, like my Brooks that I had, no, I wouldn't wear them to school, especially because I was teaching at a school where you weren't allowed to wear tennis shoes at all. And then this past year we were allowed to wear tennis shoes, but I think I would just wear like those dumb Nike like fake Air Forces. Like if I was going to wear tennis shoes, it would be those. Yeah, I don't like wear my Brooks to school. So, except I did get that pair from Dick's Sporting Goods. Like just I was like, give me a pair of shoes. I just need something because my feet hurt. And so I was
wear
wearing
my
those
retired
Nobody cared.
Shoes as like day to day. Like once they hit the like 300, 350, I know that like technically they say they can be 300 to 500, but I'm an early retirer of shoes. Ben's shoes look like they're about to fall apart when he finally gets rid of them, and mine look still pretty much brand new, but they don't, like they fold and like they don't have the support anymore, but then they become like walking the dog shoes and day-to-day shoes. So yeah, that's what I was wondering, because I didn't know how much damage, I guess, or like extra wear I was putting on my shoes by wearing my running shoes also during the day. And then like the foam never breathe, like they never dry properly. The foam gets smushed faster. Not great.
Right. The new pair of Brooks that I have is like my everyday walking around shoes, like go walk the dog, go to school, go nanny, go whatever, run errands. And then the Adrenaline Brooks that I bought, those are like my training run race shoes. I should probably get like separate pairs for training and racing. You know what I mean?
It depends. Maybe. So my big thing is like shoe rotation too. Like I think right now in my running log, I have 9 pairs. One of them I haven't worn at all in 2024 yet because they're completely skunked. They literally only have miles from when I walk my mom's dogs when I'm at home because they live there. And even then they need to be, I think, just sent to the great shoe bin upstairs. But I'm big on shoe like rotation too, of just rotating between even between days, but especially during a race weekend doing multiple events. For Dopey in 2023, I brought 3 pairs of shoes to run in and then an additional one for the park days. Just so I was letting the foam breathe. I wore the same one of shoes between the 5K and the half, but the 10K and the full were their own separate shoe. And then there was another pair that I wore around in and around the parks, just so that again you let the foam like recover, breathe a little bit. between the few days, but I've noticed that helps me get a little bit more life out of my shoes. I have a pair that like I keep saying like they're going to be just walking shoes. I ran in them today and I'm not in pain by any means because I wouldn't do this, but looking again at my mileage right now, they're at 323.90 miles.
So that's crazy to me that you guys like keep track of the mileage that much.
How do you keep track, Natalie?
Bean Counter? Okay, is it crazy that Bean Counter has a spreadsheet? But what I do is when I log the run, I have a column that also has what shoes I wore. So then it feeds to a table.
She has a very fancy spreadsheet. I've seen it.
It's really not that. It's like nice.
It is for people who don't use Excel regularly. I agree with you. As someone who does Excel like all day, every day, no. But for other people, it is.
Yeah, because it's like each year, it's like, what stat am I going to add to this as well? Like, what's something new I'm going to put? Because I then have like an area for comments too of like what interval I use that day, and it allows me also to do it if there's like I use like multiple intervals because I go out at 75:30 and then I have to back off and I go to 60:30 and then so I have like and then a note about how it went. I don't know. Maybe fuel will be next for 2025. I don't know. But I do keep track because then I think I was for sure underestimating how much mileage I was putting on my feet in like the other times. Like, oh, like I'm just going to go run my errands. I'm like 3 miles here, 3 miles there, 2 miles here. It does add up. And then in certain ways. And again, you should use your shoes the way you want to. Like, I'm not telling you by any means to like not use your shoe. It's just, I would notice that like, as far as like breakdown, being surprised of like, wow, I feel like I just got these. Well, like my purple Brooks, that's how they're sitting in my shoe.
So pretty.
I got them. I love them. And it's starting to be time for them to be like park only shoes. Cause I noticed kind of like that, like, it's not
your
like
legs start to feel different.
Yes. I don't want to call it a burning on the bottom of my feet. Cause again, that would be a no-go. Like this is just a walking shoe, but like, kind of like just like, I like more fatigue on the bottom of my feet when I'm running. Like
I notice it in my shins first.
Ooh.
Usually.
Yeah, that'll be a big one. But like I put 200 miles on them in 2023. I'm like, wow, like, you know, like kind of where I am on the shoes. It's like, well, like you put 320 miles on it. So yes, you got it 15 months ago because of when I bought them, but it makes sense that this is why they feel this way.
They also just agree with time too. So like if you've had a shoe for more than a year, like I mean, obviously the running store wants you to buy more shoes, but like you should start considering in that second year, regardless of how many miles you've put on them, if they're starting to not perform as well, because the foam itself is not really designed. You're not meant to have shoes for like, at least not running shoes for like 3-4 multiplied out years at a time.
We're not talking about my carbon shoes. No. But yeah, no, that's for sure. Just kind of watching it. Cause then also like, it sounds like, but like, it sounds silly, but just like certain things that are like injury or like risks and whatnot, just, I don't know, setting yourself up for success. But even like rotating shoes, also if there's rain, like a torrential downpour during a half of a half marathon, because I was standing behind somebody who they were wearing those shoes the next day for the full, they were doing Nobi.
Absolutely.
And they're like,
not.
you know, they're like, yeah, like they're like, you know, I did it to myself. He's like, my wife here was smarter than I was, and she has another pair of shoes for tomorrow. He's like, I have a ton of newspaper. It's gonna be fine. Like, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure he was fine. He seemed relatively nonplussed about it, where he's like, this was dumb of me, and I've done it in a way where I'm, you know. Where that's also something where like, or if you can't dry your shoes and whatnot, of just bringing extra pairs down with you. Especially like the retirees of some of mine are like, this is my yard shoe now.
Yeah.
Of like, if I'm going to go mow, which I don't do the mowing, but you know, if I were to.
Yeah. I use Strava to track mine. So I've also have a copy, and Natalie was gracious enough to let me have a copy of her spreadsheet that I modified. But I am not good enough about like going in on top of working in Excel all day at my job. I can't remember to do it when I come home, but Strava is connected to my watch, so it automatically uploads. I've already told it which shoes I wear for runs and which shoes I wear for walks, so it knows. Usually I do still, because I rotate running shoes, have to go check that it picked the right one, but then it does all the math for me and I can keep track that way.
Well, that's interesting because I recently downloaded Strava and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I want to be held accountable for my training. I
I
didn't know
can
you
show
could
you
tell
how
it
to.
what shoes.
Yeah, I'll show you how to add your gear later.
Ooh, thanks. Yeah, I did already connect my watch to it automatically, so it'll post my training runs.
Okay.
But yeah,
I'll
I see
follow
you
you
on Strava. I follow you.
You
Yeah,
do?
and
Maybe we already follow each other
yeah.
then.
Oh, I don't know if you follow me. But yeah, I see your little like
Scandal.
evening walk
Oh.
for 0.5 miles, and I'm like, good job, Hannah.
Aw. Yeah.
Give you kudos.
Now I'm gonna have to go check because I'm gonna feel real guilty that you're maybe following me and I'm not following you.
See the things that happen on a podcast.
Yeah, I need
of,
more
like,
Strava people.
yeah,
Mm.
I like
But
it.
speaking
I
of, like-
don't
Don't
pay for it,
Strava.
but
I
Me
don't
neither.
Strava.
I don't
I'm
do
so
it for
surprised.
the like social aspect, I guess. I mean, I have a few people from work. Like, I really have barely any friends on Strava. You mostly use it for the gear, and you don't have to pay for it to do that. So, just in case you were tricked into almost paying for the subscription.
No, I didn't pay for it.
Okay. All right. Do you tend to run in the morning or evening, or do you go rogue? Do you run at lunch? What time do you run, Caitlin?
Oh. I'm more of an evening person. I really try to get myself up. And last school year, I kept telling myself because my contract time, I had to be there at 8:30 because school started at 8:40. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I'm going to be up and working out in the morning. I literally never did. Not once. So I was kind of lucky if my butt could get out of the house before 8 a.m. because it was a little bit of a hike to go to school. But the year before that, I taught at a school that was literally right behind a Planet Fitness, and I had my Planet Fitness membership at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to go work out like every single day because the Planet Fitness is right there. But then all the children told me that they love to go to that Planet Fitness, and I am not going to be working out at a place where my students are also exercising.
Fair.
So, yeah, no. I mean, I don't even like being in public, like at Target or something, and I run into a student. So, I feel like me exercising and then seeing all of my students there, that would be even worse. So, I never went to that Planet Fitness for that whole school year and never worked out before school last year. So, I think I'm just a nighttime running person.
Yeah,
What about you guys?
I'm struggle busing because ideally, because I prefer to run outside, I should be running in the morning, and I'm trying really hard. But ever since I went to the West Coast and came back, I've had a really, really hard time waking up any earlier than I have to for my job. So I haven't done any morning workouts, which is also making my long runs difficult. But right now I'm primarily an evening runner, but my life is way better when I run in the morning because I really like to have a lot of time to decompress in the evening. Like, I like to eat dinner earlier if possible, and then like binge watch stupid stuff on the TV, or have time to read, or now work on this podcast. And if I save my workout till after work, that really cuts into that time, and then I will procrastinate going to bed to feel like I had more of that time, and then my sleep suffers, and it's a vicious cycle. But we're working on it.
Yeah. No, I feel that because after work, you're just so tired from the whole day that like the last thing that I want to do is go work out. So it would be better to work out in the morning when you're like more fresh, I guess. Like you haven't had the whole day. I don't know. But
sometimes it's good though. Sometimes I like doing it after work because sometimes I've had such a terrible day that it's a really good release for me. But if I've already worked out in the morning, that doesn't stop me from doing that. Sometimes if I'm still in that place, I'll just go for an extra walk. So I should still do it in the morning, which is what Natalie does like 90% of the time, at least, I think.
This is
Unless
true.
you're putting on a fake show for everyone on social media. I'm pretty sure you're doing it in the morning.
No, I'm doing it in the morning. That's why I timestamp them. Hashtag awesome. But yeah, I'm more of a morning person with working out. I used to love a lunch run when I used to work remote. It was great. Really loved, because I had it kind of timed down where, like before I'd be like working away, like kind of drinking, kind of getting like prepped for it and whatnot. And then kind of go out, do my 45, come back, take a quick shower, and then really just be back and just for an lunch hour. But it doesn't really work when you work in an office now. So
You get a whole hour for lunch? Ugh,
I have a
jealous.
whole hour.
Oh, I don't. I don't. But like, it was more acceptable, like to do that, like at the time. I mean, obviously, because then like your day stretches though too, because you got to make that time back up.
What? No, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
You're salaried, right?
Yes, I have been, but
no one's tracking any of that at my job. I show up, I leave. No one is tracking that. I could take an hour. I could take 20 minutes. I could take 2 hours. And probably no one would notice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
You get to
because
take
I have a
your
lot of
break
things
whenever
to do.
you want.
Yes, I can take breaks every 5 minutes if I wanted.
Last year, I only had 25 minutes for lunch.
That does remind me of
So
being
sad.
in school. I think I had like a 15-minute lunch period or something. It was
Ew,
terrible.
that's awful.
Yeah.
Man, shovel it all down.
When I taught middle school, I think it was like a 45-minute because they would go to lunch and recess.
Ooh.
And then the year before, like my second year of teaching, I think it was just 30 minutes. But last year it was from, what was it, 12:40 to 1:05.
Wow.
The children were gone. Yeah, and that was like they couldn't leave until 12:40, and then they had to be back by 1:05. So really, they probably only got like 20 or 15 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
To like walk, because they had to walk down and walk back. Mm-hmm.
Back to the time though. Do you love running in the morning, or is that just like what works best for you, Natalie?
I actually do like doing it in the morning, where I feel like because I used to be an evening runner, went from evening to lunchtime back to the morning, where now that I've figured out a fuel situation, because just even fueling for my runs, but then also like refueling after, because my big hang up used to be you do the morning workout and then I'm skunked by 2:30. I'm done. So now that I've gotten kind of a little bit better with, like having my protein right after I get in, making sure I like am fueling enough, refueling enough, I really do like it because it's cool to watch the sunrise. It's cool to just kind of be out there and like in the morning and stuff like that. And just like watching the sun get ready to rise is really cool too. And there's just like this different peace and serenity to it, especially as I'm choosing violence on a speed workout. So I very much enjoy it. I will sometimes lift in the evening if it's a morning where I just cannot get myself out of bed to work out. But that's a little bit rarer because then, if I lift Monday night, Tuesday morning's a run. So then you're putting only 12 hours between your workouts, and that's fine. It's just not what I generally prefer to do. And also it gives me enough time to talk myself out of it if I do it in the evening. So, of like, oh, like I'm really ready to work out after work. And then especially when I lived in my apartment, we lived on the 3rd floor with no elevator, which was fine. It's just when you got to then walk up the stairs, go change, then walk down the stairs. And then you got like, I was a little bit more done. And again, I'm a runner. I've run how many miles this year, but that staircase, that scared me.
I willingly choose the stairs every day over the elevator, and I live only 3 doors away from the elevator.
Good for you.
I don't know what it is, but that like one little extra thing. It's like Ben and I are the same kind. We also park as far away from the grocery store as possible kind of people.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Same. I don't like people. I love people.
We're doing it for the extra steps. We're insane.
Yeah. You got to get your steps in. That, and I feel like people are less likely to accidentally hit your car.
Yeah,
yes.
That's true. Yeah. Do you guys have a favorite race?
Yeah, I saw that on the Google Doc, and I was trying to think about it right now. I mean, I want to say like a 5K, but I also like the longer distances too. I don't know. I feel like you get more street cred when you're like, yeah, I'm doing a half marathon.
Mm-hmm. I like the longer distances, actually.
Yeah.
I think maybe half is my sweet spot. I like the way it makes me feel, again, sort of street cred to be saying that I'm training for a marathon. Like, it really pads the ego, I guess, or something. But I think from like a pure enjoyment, I like the length of a half. And I think I feel the best from a half, but also maybe that's just because my first marathon was so bad.
Speaking of the sweet spot, though, that 10-miler at Springtime Surprise, I really enjoyed it. Genuinely. I was like really feeling it that day. I was like, this is amazing. I feel great. I loved the 10-mile, and which is so weird because like you can't really convert that. I don't know. But that one was really fun.
Mm-hmm. It is proof, yeah.
I was a distance swimmer in high school, so I feel like that would just kind of convert to running maybe. I don't know.
I like it because I like the way I feel during long races better. Like I mean, again, it translates from being a distance swimmer as well. I don't really love the feeling of having to feel like I'm dying the entire race, and also knowing that even the slightest mess up in a short race is going to have a much larger impact on like the outcome versus like, oh, I didn't like that I had like a slower mile in the half, but you still have time to recover or change that or correct course if you're not liking how something's going in a longer race. Now, if you're an elite, then maybe that's not true, but I'm not, so.
I love a half marathon. I think that that's the distance I have. I'm not going to say I have it fully figured out yet, but as far as how to pace and how to race it, I do have that figured out a little bit better. Just, and the Princess Half Marathon course, I have a special appreciation for Cone Alley into the highway because that's just where I let it rip. From the 10K to the 15K mark, it's always, for me, let's see what I can do here. And I just rip my way down
a
the highway.
15K would be fun. I want to try a 15K.
9.3 miles. I do think the marathon it's fun. I really, really enjoy I don't know, just the, like, because then also, you know, it's kind of nice because Disney puts the flags out of, like, what the 20K is. And, like, I don't know, like, math makes my brain think about something else. It's like, you know, 20K is 12.4, 25K is 15.5, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of like just, like, seeing that and, like, you know, like, hitting the 40K mark when you're in Epcot already. It's like, all right, 2.2 to go, baby. And it's great. It's just, it's a really fun. And I'm 2 marathons and I have not figured that distance out either. And again, I probably am going to look back at this and say, oh, you thought you had the half figured out? Oh, honey. But I do think I have a little bit better of a strategy going into it now than I did prior, where I guess I also like don't really strategically race plan either. I'm getting into that now that I'm like going for specific times. But I don't know. I really enjoy the half marathon because I haven't raced a 10K in a while though either. It's been about 2 years
Princess.
No, but like raced.
Oh.
Where we were just bopping character to character.
Right.
Versus like actually like gone for time, like strategically gone into a race for a 10K. So maybe that's something that I'm going to go back in and maybe if I want to be like character feral for the Wine and Dine half, maybe I'll race the 10K and just for fun. I don't know. I just have to think about what I want to do for that, because then like Remy the rat and Emil are going to be out at the same time. Could be like, what'd you think about that whole race plan where you're going to actually race this? So I need to find a local 10K, I think, just to see what I can do.
I do like the themes for Wine and Dine this year, but I'm kind of like, 2 of the themes I've already done. Like, we did Tiana at Princess, so I'm like, well, I mean, I guess it's good because you can, like, rewear the merch or whatever. And then Springtime Surprise 2022, the 10K was Remy. So this year, it's going to be Tiana is the 10K for Wine and Dine, and Remy is the half for Wine and Dine. So I'm like, well, I do already have, like, 2 race costumes all ready to go. But
give me the rat.
Well, but you were talking about doing Daisy Duck for the half. And I could be Donald.
Oh.
Yes.
We'll table this.
As long as Mr. Natalie is okay with it, I'll be Donald.
He doesn't care. He'll probably be like, great,
okay,
you get to reuse a costume. I know, I'm like starting, because I'm going for like Unhinged for Wine and Dine. So I have an idea for the 5K. I'm going to keep it, I'm going to keep it offline for now. But I'm going Unhinged for just basically like, just either random things I've thought of and not executed on. Because again, like if, depending on also what I want to do race wise, but like I kind of just want to have like a lot of fun with it, and knowing that this is not my A race of the season, it's kind of, you know, serving the greater purpose of training for the marathon. So that's kind of, we're going Unhinged this year.
Is it, or is it not related to the Muppets?
Right now, no. No. It's a Disney property, kind of, sort of, in a way.
Okay.
But not exactly as far as my A, which actually this was a Mr. Natalie idea when I was coming up with costume ideas for, I think it was for Princess. But yeah, I have a pretty funny idea. I just need, and now I have the time to execute on it. So now is the time. Now is the best time of your lives.
Now is the time. Now is the time.
No copyright strike.
Oh no.
It's okay. I didn't sing it well. So,
all right. Well, I think that's it for us. We've had a great time talking today. And from all of us, thanks for tuning in. Until our next adventure, we're wishing you endless miles of magic and memories. See you next time.